Good morning, people. Welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I hope you're all doing well. And as I was mulling over what I could cover this morning on the Just Joe Football Show, I was sent this by a Rangers fan-led group demanding for change at Rangers already. And just the wider context of it all, really, and how their ownership of the Rangers has not got off to the best start. And of course, if that has any implications to Leeds United, and if, when you look at the way the transfer window was handled and stuff, I thought Rangers had a good window, but obviously they're demanding change, and there's a way of looking at it thinking, should we be like that? I'm not sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're in the Premier League. We should be grateful and all that. I think a lot of people say, and yeah, it's all good, but I don't know. The transfer window really was shoddy and shite, wasn't it? But I'm trying to leave that in the rear view. It is what it is. But let's have a look what the Rangers fan group have had to say. Ultimately, they lost 2-0 to Hearts at the weekend. This is the first time in 47 years a manager, who is Russell Martin, has failed to win in his first 5 league games. It's quite interesting. I've seen a post, him talking about players are anxious, players are anxious, players are anxious. And he'd said that line at every single football club, MK Dons, Southampton, Swansea, all these other clubs. Was he at Swansea? I'm not too sure, but he's basically gone with that line before. And it might be that he makes them anxious. I'm not too sure. But he's failed to win in his first 5 games, which is the first time in 47 years as a manager. Obviously, they're 10th in the Scottish Premiership after 5 games. And that's grown, fan frustration, as you would imagine. Now, in terms of what they've actually said, it's the Union Bears. The Union Bears. It's not looking good, Brev, for old 49ers at the minute. And this is what they've had to say on, via an official statement. So this is the Union Bears statement. The Union Bears stand with fellow fan groups and the wider support in demanding the immediate removal of the Rangers management team and CEO. Should we have gone, we demand the immediate removal of Adam Underwood and Robbie Evans after their shoddy work and lies during the transfer window. Russell Martin has shown beyond doubt that he is not capable of leading Rangers Football Club. The performances under his management are a disgrace to the standards this club was built on. Rangers cannot afford constant upheaval, but in Martin's case, there can be no debate. His failure is absolute, and he must be removed from his duties immediately. Patrick Stewart has been quick to criticise supporters, yet has refused to take responsibility for his own catastrophic decision. As CEO, the appointment of Russell Martin lies entirely with him. This failure proves he is unfit to lead Rangers. His position is untenable, and he must be held accountable. The new owners must act quickly and decisively. If they do not, they will leave the support with no option but to act. Rangers must have a management team and a squad capable of delivering successes worthy of our history and our support. And it says at the bottom there, which you just can't see, it says a series of protests, actions have already been planned, beginning with Saturday's match. Unless changes are made before then, these actions will be made known to the wider support. So there you go. They're threatening. They're threatening to act and start to protest after just 5 games. I mean, the standards are pretty insane. I can't lie. I do think he's probably going to end up getting the sack. And it'll be interesting to see if Rangers do act, right? Now, of course, their situation is no way comparable in terms of we're not expected to be competing for the league. Rangers are. We have a win and a couple of points. Rangers have none. You know what I mean? They don't have any wins. It's the worst start in 47 years. So I get it's slightly different, but it is just 5 games. And they are demanding that the CEO be removed as well, right? The chief executive officer who's made the appointment of Russell Martin. So got quite big calls there. Martin strikes me as someone who believes he's yeah, man, he's like Frank Lampard, man. It's Russell Martin. Why appoint him in the first place? We should be grateful to a good degree, but I think the fact we worked hard to get there doesn't mean we get here and just chill. We have to still put the work in, but we need players to be able to do that. Agreed, Sarah. We demand the immediate signing of Harry Wilson. Don't think Farke be the job soon, maybe after the international. Why, Michael? No way. Get out of my head. I've been having this exact conversation last night with some JUSTJOE fans as I live in the Highlands. We'll be watching what happens with interest going forward. I thought you meant JUSTJOE Lynch then, but you meant Rangers. I thought you meant JUSTJOE's got a conglomerate of fans in the Highlands meeting up, just talking. The only thing what matters in Scotland is the Celtic Rangers derby. 9 gives a shit who wins the league. Harsh. They're poor at the non-NFL aspects to ownership, mainly the transfer system as a non-draft, and it's rare they fire a head coach in that league. Other aspects they nail, though, that are the same off the pitch. Yeah, great off the pitch, and no denying that fact, is it, Danny? And of course, they bring in the money. But yeah, it is different. That's where it differs. You know, you can talk about the way you operate in American football, but it isn't the same because it's a draft. There's no transfer window. You have to pivot. You can't go out early doors and say we're only going to spend X amount on this position. And I still laugh when I think about that document they sent out to everyone saying we're going to spend 200k on a veteran midfielder. Who was that? Who were they buying who was worthy of the Premier League for 200k that was a veteran? Don't understand it. We're going to spend 25 million on a striker. We're going to spend 15 million on a defender, which they managed to do. But then with the, for instance, with the, in the centre back, but then, you know, we'll see if they, you know, they didn't pivot well enough. Happy for the Union Bears to be greeting, though. To me, it seems like the 49ers are good at off-the-pitch stuff, need to work on the actual football side. Hope the 49ers listen when fans... I don't think they will demand, because it's nowhere comparable in that respect, I guess. Which manager said it takes 10 games for a side to reach its stride when they start a new season? I'm not too sure, Mr. Whitesnake. I hope you're well, brother. But yeah, that's the official statement. It's a big one. It is a big one. Now, if we have a look at, just bear with us 1 second. Sorry, I'm just getting the right thing off. Yeah, so do we think? I think he's gonna. You know, I think he's going to get the sacked. We're going to blow 10 million. Look, like I said, where was that in the thing? We're also going to put 10 million on James Justin and 5 million on Bornau, who can't even make the match day squad. It's a bit of a madness. I still think it's crazy. We spent 17 million on our attack, right? It's just not good enough. It's not to the standards that we demand. We should have I don't know what we don't have a Union Bears group, do we? We have the LUFC, Leeds United Supporters Trust. But then the way the club, what they tried to do is they set up a fan engagement board or something like that. I don't know if that's still in place. I know a few people are on there. I'm not taking shots at anyone individually, but I think what they tried to do is take that away from the trust and bring in this engagement board. Bioli's getting the Creswell treatment, seems a waste of money. I think that's a bit of a mad claim. It's just that Pascal Strouk's arguably been our best defender, so that's why he hasn't been able to get in, mate. But when the opportunity arises, he's got to grab it with both hands. Did he do that against Sheff Wednesday? No. So it's nothing to do with Creswell, mate. I don't know where you're getting that from. I know you don't like Farke, but come on, mate. Now, was this guy Stewart, this CEO Patrick Stewart, was he in the position before the 49ers, and did they just keep him, or did they employ him? I guess that's something I should check. And see, because it's Patrick Stewart. I don't know. We'll find out if he was brought in to deter. According to the web results, completed the takeover. The deal was approved by Scottish. The article notes that Patrick Stewart was confirmed to continue as CEO following the takeover. Okay, so he was already in the role. When they came in, but I'm not having that Patrick Stewart's decision was Russell Martin. It's the 49ers. It's a Greta Steinson employment. Yeah, I think, you can tell that just because I think that of like what they've seen, obviously, in the championship. If you look at the acquisitions they bought, a lot of the players were players we were linked with in the championship. They obviously bought Joe Rothwell, for example. So I think it's clearly a 49ers appointment. So they can ask for the CEO to be gone, but I think, someone's got to kick the can, haven't they? Patrick Stewart. He went to uni in Sheffield, I swear. Is he from Yorkshire? I know he went to uni in Sheffield. Patrick Stewart, that is. The 15 million on Biol, 10 million on Justin, and 5 million on Bar now. I know we need cover on the bench, but we spent more on the bench than we have in attack. Biol will play, I believe. But obviously, at the minute, who's he going to start over? Because Strouk's been quality. He's been better than Rodon for me. But that's just my opinion. People might not agree. But yeah, look, Rangers coming out enforced. Martin is a similar mould to Farke as well. In what respect? I don't trust Paraag, Marathe. We've spent 15 million on two players who aren't worth over 7.5. Yeah, I think we overpaid for Justin, I think. I don't follow NFL by any stretch, but Danny does. What's he saying? We only spend X amount is the wage cap allocation they do in the NFL. They keep coaches as they know they can bring in stars in the draft. It's like Yamal coming through and going to 20th place. Yeah, exactly. From midfield. Is it Millfield or Murfield? Right, okay. From midfield. He's playing centre at part for Huddersfield on a weekend as Patrick Stewart. So he is from Huddersfield. I mean, you can't tell with that bloody accent, can you? Talks like that. Have you seen that exchange he had with James Corden? James Corden's a bell end as well, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so 49ers Enterprises now have two football clubs. I did see a mad tweet just last week that said, imagine being that poor ownership that you need to sack your managers already. But this notion that we need to sack Farke is not right for me. Paraag is the typical CEO, save money when he can. I don't know why we didn't use the loan market for a right back. Potentially, we haven't even touched on it at all, have we? I thought we could have. As mad does it sound? Does it sound mad? But Solomon, I wouldn't mind us getting Solomon back now. Imagine Danny B going, I told you. Why hasn't Underwood been fired yet? Exactly, Dr. Cox. Why hasn't Underwood or Robbie Evans paid for this shoddy transfer window with their job? NFL teams hire coaches that set the philosophy top to bottom, then transfers and draft take care of themselves with the picks. They saw Martin's style and forgot that an overhaul of players is needed. Yeah, potentially. So, who's this Andrew Kavanagh anyway? Is he just a mate of Paraag's or whatever? Like, does he have any connection to the 49ers? What they will do is make them financially sustainable, right? That's what they're going to do with Leeds. That's the long-term ambition. They've obviously got the grounds coming in, which of course will increase revenue and stuff. But it all don't matter if you're not in the Premier League. 8 million for a good fullback back up in Premiership is okay for me. Not when we have such a small squad that it's deemed like, do we really need it? Like, how many games will James Justin play if Bogle and Goodmanson are fit? Do you know what I mean? Underwood hasn't been sacked because he was following instructions. Joe 90 says, I like the 49ers to pack up. I don't think we're in that position yet, but listen, there will come a time where they will sell on the club because obviously that's what they're in it for, right? I think. 2030 was what that guy said. Like normally it can take, did he say 7 years or something like that? And then they'll yeah, Joe, he's part of the 49ers enterprises, but isn't involved on the Leeds side of it. Okay. Yeah. This is the thing though, right, Rob? So is he better than R2 Masuaku? Yes. But how much did you pay for Masuaku, who might not play, over what we paid for Justin? Do you know what I mean? So who's done better there? Is it Masuaku you got, who was previously at West Ham, right? What did you pay? Oh, there you go. He was a free. You picked him up from Besiktas, having had Premier League experience. You got Ronaldo, who was also free. Right, okay, that's just sorted on the left-hand side. Then you got Sirkin as well. I don't know who's been playing because I haven't caught a game of Sunderland yet this season because I've done other games. But yeah, I'm assuming he's not played, right? Soufal, exactly. Could have signed him on a free. Right, boom, bring him in. You know, I do think we have, yeah. And I know we should move on. I've said I would move on from the transfer window, but it's going to be a glaring issue, isn't it, until January, I think, because when I was thinking about it last night, we were talking on the final word and talking about the striker situation, and then it's like, where will Pirro play? And maybe we should have cashed in on Joel. You know, there's all these sort of decisions. We've got Matteo. And remember I said, for those that said we should send Joseph out on loan, because if he has a mid-season, he'll be worth 30 million and all this stuff. He's still not scored a goal. In Spain. Now, I don't think they're going to get the upside they believe they did. That was always going to be a problem for me. Without an option or an obligation. And I did say it is a risk. What if he goes and bombs? What if he goes and isn't the player? Then what do we do? We're then stuck with the player. And we still... I don't know how he's playing. Listed. He might be playing well. He genuinely might be playing well. I've not seen, but he's played 4 games now. 3 of them he's started, and he's got no goals and no assists. Day 1 should have been Solomon and Hamer, but I've told you that 100 times. You have achievable and serviceable in both leagues where they are happy to play meeting time. Have a good stream and speak soon. No worries. He makes a good point, Danny. Yeah, you do, mate. You do. I did say we should have sold Pirro. They have to, regardless of what they said in their deck that they sent out to everyone. We know why they don't like to do business in January. You know, that's what they did with Connor Roberts, and then nothing the January after. But this one, they will have to, right? And if that means selling a player in the summer to pay for it, then so be it. Well, Dr. Cox, imagine, right? Like, I believe we should have sold Matteo, and I said that at the time. It just makes sense from a PSR perspective because it's all profit. But obviously, they're hoping that he goes to Mallorca, smashes it, and then can be, you know, sold at a premium. I know it's still early days, but he's played 3 games, played 4 overall, and not got any numbers yet. They are 19th in the league. It is going to be tough for him, but you know, even with Largy, right? And I do think we should have kept Largy. That's not up for debate because we didn't replace, right? But Largy's had 2 appearances off the bench. He got an assist, but I think he's also on the bench in La Liga. Like, he's not starting games. He's played 38 minutes. 38 minutes. So he's not even played a half of football yet. Admittedly, it's only 2 games. I'm just saying, though, that he's on the bench out there. And I think people thought he was going to start, etc. So, Joe, if us and Rangers are both near the bottom by January in our domestic leagues, could you see fans? Maybe. If these club was never proactive in selling and wanted players, yeah, I think they thought people would come and buy. Like, look, at the end of the day, they gave Joffrey loan. They gave Darko JB away. I don't know how they managed to get money for Greenwood, but they did. The rest, don't know. Leeds could have loaned in a player with obligations to kick the PSR count down the line, definitely. I think it's unfair to say Joel Perro won't work in the Prem. Yeah, but when would he? Who would he play well against? When do you play him? Is my question, Philip. I think he struggles in the Premier League. Big up, Joe. I think the Prem is a bit much for Farke. That being said, he did bring you up, deserve a chance, and to be fair, the owners should have done more in the window, but you're stay up because their teams around you are far worse. I hope so. I don't think it's too much for Farke either, because if we had the personnel in the final area of the pitch, I think we'd have scored goals and already won games. I'm not saying he's failed, bro. Please don't put words in my mouth, brother. I'm just saying that he's been on the bench. That's all I'm saying. Definitely not. It's far too early. I don't think he's failed by any stretch. I think Hull will buy Joffrey and Jack. Let's hope so. Loaned Vorba too rather than sell. Seem to be going for more money in the future rather than Prem survival. Maybe, Nick. I'm not too sure. But we don't want to become a yo-yo club, do we? I don't want to be a yo-yo club. Down, boom, back up. All our players will struggle in the Prem. I don't think all of them. I don't think the midfield have by any stretch, mate. I think the midfield have been good. I think the defence have been good. They haven't struggled. If I'm to say to you who struggled, I think James has struggled. Well, the whole attack. Randall, that's mad. That's a madness, brother. That's a madness, what you've just said. Yeah, so I don't know. Do you think the 49ers will bend to fan criticism or fan backlash? Because they said they were maybe reviewing the manager's position based on, well, that's what we read, that they maybe were reviewing his manager position, and some would have agreed with that. Do you think as an ownership, if you bend to fan criticism, does that make you weak? Do you know what I mean? So I'm just thinking from a Rangers perspective, because obviously the fan backlash now is huge. The fact that after 4 games, whatever it is, they're now planning a protest and saying, this is what you must do. So it'd be interesting to see if they do that. Because I know their situation is a lot more untenable than ours. But yeah, you agree with your Yorkshireman. Sometimes you do have to give in a sense, don't you? Listen, if they don't, let's say we're 17th. Let's say we're in the relegation zone, but not like cut adrift, which I don't think we will be, right? I think it's going to be tight right until the end down there. And if they don't then buy in January, that I'll be raging. I think we all will, right? None of this. And the facts are now, with the 49ers, they've shown their hand. Like, what I mean by that is we won't fall for them lies again. Like I've been saying for a few times, I don't agree with that. And a lot of people will say, "Oh no, why would they lie? Why would they do this? Why would they do that?" But at the end of the day, they told us a lot of business gets done at the end of the window. No business got done. A lot of this that didn't get done. So we're now like, we distrust you. We distrust what you're telling us. You know. So yeah, I think in January the proof will be in the pudding. Obviously, I know it's a while away yet, but it comes around quick in football, doesn't it? Especially when you consider we got little 4-game blocks. Sorry for yawning. Got a 4-game block, international break. So we've got 3 more left, international break. Then there's another 4-game block, then it's international break. And then before you know it, it's December, you know what I mean? So be interesting to see. I think the 49ers will bend to their investor backlash. Sheffield United have just shown us that we must stick with Farke. The club haven't, and it's not his fault if we are relegated. What he's going to do, I think, if we're going to get relegated, they will sack him, and I understand that because you throw the dice, you roll the dice. If you're losing games, you roll the dice and hope that the appointment is the right appointment and you stay up. He won't. If we go down, he won't be the manager when we go down. And I sort of agree with what you're saying. But I think the situations are different in terms of Sheffield United got 90 points and sacked a manager. Had we have done that, that was a crazy decision, and I stand by that. You stick with your manager and look what happened. The second season around, we dicked the league. But there's no way that Farke's still the manager if we're relegated at the end of the season. Unless we go down on the final day or something, right? But if we're already, yeah. I guess if we go down on the final day, it's different. Sorry, there's context in there. There's nuance to everything. It's not as linear. It's not black and white. But if we're already get relegated way before and cut adrift, then Farke won't be the manager because they want to roll the dice because there's a lot of money involved. Pirro-Hamer deal would have been a good deal for both clubs. Looking at, yeah, maybe. If they don't sign in January, we could see protests. I don't know if do we organise well enough for that? When was the last one? Bates? I know that the Cellino we put that thing on the East stand. I remember that. I was at the game that night. Like it was like a projected onto the side where the Hisense thing is. What did it say now? It was like in purple. Chased him in the taxi vibe, but yeah. Pirro would work at a bigger club. Weirdly, we need so much more than a finisher, which is what he's best at. We knew before we got promoted that both Harrison and James had never done overly well in the Prem. We needed better, but we have to put our faith in them for now. Yeah, I didn't sleep well last night, mate. I do apologise, Paul. Burnley will stick with Parker unless they get beaten every week. We won't. Yeah. No, I agreed because I think Burnley will be a little bit more. Yeah, you are right. You are right. That's what I'm saying. Burnley probably will and go, right, okay, we go again. Leeds, with our aspirations are bigger, right? We want to increase the stadium and all this. There's a lot riding on it, so they will roll the dice, sorry. We're not in the Championship. I don't know what you're about. Do you mean stay with him because he'll get us out of it? No, but they'll make a decision to try stay in the Prem before they do that. We don't seem to be fluid as going forward. It's like we're afraid to adapt. Right, okay. So there is 2 points, David, that just don't align. Because Burnley had 20% of the ball and didn't have a shot on target. They didn't have a shot. 0.1 something XG. So how can you say on one side that we don't look fluid going forward, we're afraid to attack, but Burnley look good? They did not. They put 11 men behind the ball, and that's all they did. They didn't look good, bro. But because it's not us, they look good and we look shit. No, at least we attacked. At least we had possession. We had 46% possession. We had more possession than Fulham in the first half, and we were away from home. They were at home, admittedly against Liverpool, but they had 0.17 xG, and I don't know what their shots were. I don't think they had. Maybe they had one solitary shot. So how in what world did they look better than us? They defended and put, 1-5-5. Well, that'd be 10 outfield players, but you know what I mean. I'll just check the stats for the shots, bro. 1 second. Zero big chances. They had 3 shots, sorry. 3 shots, but 0 big chances. So I don't, and had 19% of the ball. So less than 20% of the ball. Less than 20% of the ball. They might as well not have shown up. We had better XG than them again. So we had better XG than them against Arsenal. And we got slapped up 5-0. So I think James agreed. He hasn't looked himself. I agree. Why wouldn't the 49ers just get Farke what he wanted? Exactly. They should have. Idiots. No club got all the players they wanted apart from Liverpool. So Farke yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can say that, Aidan, but I hear what you're saying. Now he has to work with what he's got. 100%. 100%. The uncomfortable truth is we might have maxed out PSR, which calls into question why we bought so many. Yeah, well, if that's what they're telling us, then they've obviously assembled it poorly. Call me optimistic, but I think we get a result this week, and every week playing together will make us better, hopefully, and it will come and we start scoring goals. Yeah. I know that, but my point is you can't say they were good. So what's your point then? So what were they good at then? If they were good and they didn't have the football, what were they good at? Why did you look at them and say they were good and we were bad? You said we're afraid to attack. Well, that's not true because we had more possession and had more shots on goal than them. So we did attack. They didn't. They ran once or twice on a counter. So if possession, so what did they do? What was good comparative to us, David? Just out of interest, if you can enlighten me. If we'd done a plan B, Pirro picking up scraps from Metro would be a definite boost potentially. Better XG and no goals, yeah. No, exactly. But we created more. We know the issue. You're still not. You're now taking my pot and cap, but you made the claim. So it's up for you to defend that claim that they were better than us or they look good. I want you to tell me what they were good at. What were they good at? Now, yeah, we know our issues were scoring goals. We know that, right? That isn't the point you originally made. You said they were good. They looked good. What at? Liverpool didn't get Gahey. They didn't. 49ers can't afford to dick about in January, else we get relegated 100%. Why are you talking about 49ers making decisions at Rangers then, or what do you mean? It's the same ownership group, bro. It's the same ownership group. Paraag Marathe own 51%. They're the majority shareholder, along with 1 second, mate. What's the guy's name? Andrew Kavanagh. Andrew Kavanagh and Paraag Marathe. They own 51% of the football club, I believe. Yeah, or have I got that right? Have I got that wrong, Patrick? They played Liverpool. We played Fulham. Even though they never scored, how do they look better? They had 19% of the ball and created less than us. I'm not sure. Burnley didn't struggle to create an attack. They were instructed not to at all. Alisson had the ball for a few minutes at his feet. Looked up for pressure. Not even one Burnley player moved. Parker ball, exactly. They just came out second half, put everyone behind the ball. They didn't attack better than us. That's what I mean. Don't understand. Right, okay, but you aren't right. So this is the point. You will look at the numbers and say, right, but have you watched Burnley every week? Do you know that they're playing better than us, or are you just seeing that they scored 4 and assuming that? Because they're not. I've watched them twice this season, both games at home. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, yeah. He was put forward that they performed well as though we didn't, and it's like, well, actually, we were better than them. Admittedly, they were playing Liverpool. Yeah, I don't know. Patrick, do you know me? I believe they're 51%. No, they took the majority shareholding with Paraag. If I'm wrong, Patrick, you can tell me if that's right. Yeah, fine margins indeed. Fine margins indeed. I can tell you're Scottish as well, so you probably know more than me because they say they know. They know. NOR, which I loved. Yeah, Longstaff shot. Calvert-Lewin header, which I know just said was offside, but it wasn't. So yeah. How better than them counts for nothing with what? How better than them counts for nothing with both teams getting vest? I don't know what you mean. I will argue my point against anyone who says it's all on Farke. It isn't. Yeah, agreed with you, Philip. It's definitely not. I think the narrative as well that, well, he signed players. Yeah, he signed off on them, but he wanted more. You know what I mean? He thought he was going to get more. You know, you would have thought that. So, interessante. Interessante. Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at something. The nor in Scott means they aren't in charge of. No. They can apparently just like before they're taking. Okay, so they're running the show without running the show, is what we're saying. Because we've been there before, haven't we? Potentially. Both teams getting no points. That's the statistics. No matter if we're better, both did not score. Yeah, fair. Yeah, that is. If 49ers are trying to do it on the cheap, we better be having Red Bull as me. Yeah, but then that comes with its own issues, doesn't it, mate? Comes with its own issues, does that? Just a quick point. What was the reason Farke didn't do great in Prem before? Because he wasn't properly backed. And also was very attacking. His defence was shy, and it's flipped the other way now, hasn't it? It's flipped the other way now. So yeah. No, I think the managers wanted one as well, right? I mean, we know what we needed. I feel like I'm continuing to go over the same topics, but what else can you do? You know, we know what we needed. And really on January 1st, no, he doesn't, mate. He's still moving with the same thing. On January 1st, we want them in the door, don't we? We want them to be speaking to football clubs now, to players now, to be trying to arrange for them. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. What do? We need to. I mean, Buonanotte played for Chelsea. I mean, he won't be. I don't think he'll be available. But Buonanotte played for Chelsea and was stinker and hooked at half time. And Cole Palmer came on, and they get a 2-2 draw. He wasn't great. Admittedly, I listened on the radio, but he wasn't involved. I was driving at the time. For me, Nonto had a great game against Newcastle, then bench for Fulham. Did he have a knock? No. What did he do at Newcastle? Just out of interest. But it was because he wanted a defensive winger, different at home. And I think you might see Aronson at the weekend, but then again, you might not because it's Wolves and he might want to believe we'll have more territory, more time in their attacking third. So therefore, he'll play Nonto. But I do think he wanted a defense, and it worked. It worked, man. It worked. Honestly, it did. But it's easy now with hindsight to correct all the decisions. Yeah. Is there a case for, I don't know, changing the midfield potentially, taking out Stack, bringing in Tanaka, having Tanaka as more as the box to box, him making the third man runs into the box, running ahead of the full backs, getting to the byline, looking to cross the ball, etc. Maybe that's a little switch up we could do. Because Stack is predominantly is a 6. He's not going to play in the 6. But I thought he was great against Everton, but sort of faded since then. Do you know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what changes can be done. I know someone mentioned Harry Gray earlier on in the comments. Can't be throwing Harry Gray into a Premier League relegation battle and say, "Oh, swim," because he'll probably sink. Do you know what I mean? It's a tough old gig, the Premier League, so we need to be fair to that. Apparently, Goodmanson was crying as well when he at full time, so maybe we see. Like, I thought he was quality, and I hope it doesn't affect his performances moving forward. I don't think it will. Yeah, Nico Gonzalez scored on his debut. Did he? Taremi? Why that Taremi story was always codswallop. For me, play Stack and Ampadu and put Piru in 10. No, don't do that, mate. Don't do that. That will be not great. Not anyway for me. What's this? Stuart Dallas was on the square ball. I've not had a chance to listen to it yet. Set pieces are masses. I think we've seen Arsenal last year, Villa, the amount of goals, and that can be the difference in 10 to 15 points. I think this season is going to be difficult. We have to grind out results, but I don't see any reason why we can't do that, and I agree. I think especially at home, we're going to be hard to beat against anyone, I believe. I truly believe that we're staying up, and I agree with him. I think the team look good. As I said, the structure of the team is good. It's about creating momentum and confidence. We can go next week to Wolves and win. You wouldn't believe how much confidence that will give the team going forward. But I think if we stay up, I think we stay up comfortably. Wow, love that. Love that from Stewie D. Reckon Farke demands, what's this, more quality of he knew if reckon Farke demands more quality if he knew he wasn't getting the numbers. Yeah, probably Harry. Yeah. You would have said, don't give me ball now. Don't give it because I want this, and this. Do you know what I mean? We all know that was a way to end the goal, but now this is a huge game and need 3 points. Of course, you need 3 points, man. Got to be willing to die for 3 points. DCL's perfect player. Leeds must rue selling unplayable Harrison upgrade, which was, of course, probably Manor, you'd imagine. I'm not too sure. Is there a case? No, I was going to say, is there a case you start Harrison, but no. Okafor was bright, wasn't he? Okafor was bright. Calvert-Lewin, we need to keep seeing 90 minutes from, in my opinion, to get him up to speed, to get him scoring goals. And once he scores, he'll score goal. That's my hope, anyway. Maybe wrong, but that is my hope. I think he's a player, and hopefully that will come to the fore. What's this? Leeds have several heroes. Rothwell was one of them. Rothwell joined Leeds. What's he been saying? Yeah, he moved to Rangers. Rothwell has been mercilessly targeted by the Rangers fans for criticism. And Chris Sutton admitted the midfielder has been visibly shaken by the treatment. Oh, God. He's not having a good time up there then, eh? He's not having a good time. Any Rangers fans in the chat can tell me about that. Leeds fans take comfort from what happened against Fulham. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. That's the point in it. We move on now. We play Wolves and, you know, do we think we can get 3 points? Are people confident of 3 points? Wolves have a better team than us, but we can beat them. Don't think Wolves will trade many players. Oh, yeah, listen, I don't disagree with you, mate. Don't disagree. We have a very good midfield and defence. It's the final third where the issues lie, isn't it? But we move, man. We move. Listen, we'll be all right. I don't think any of the signings are bad. Bornell, I give you. Barbiol, we could have prioritized. I don't think Biol's bad. I've not seen him, but wow, it's boring here. Wake up, people. Good morning, Joe. How are you? Yeah, sorry if it's boring. I do apologise if it is boring, yeah, but it's one of them, innit? It's one of them. Tonight, though, I get to speak to Wolfie, see what Wolfie's saying. Obviously, Forest were beaten comfortably against Arsenal. See what he's got to say. That'll be about 8 o'clock, me and Wolfie. And, then Wednesday, we've got the women's show. We've got, you know, Wolves at the weekend, so we moved, don't we? At the moment, I'm seeing sign of the relegation season from the Prem before. Nah, not for me, bro. When? Why? What, where, when? Nothing like it, bro. Nothing like it. Jesse Marshall was nothing like this, broski. If Farke has a bad run of games, what's a bad run of games? What's a bad run of games, Bravado? What's a bad run of games? Could do with a win at the weekend. A draw's not a bad result. But there's people out there say, oh, you lose to Wolves and lose to Bournemouth and be getting sacked and all this, which I just don't agree with, but everyone has their own opinions. Today, which Champions League you see, Joe? Yeah, I don't know. We will see who's playing tonight. Christopher Hutton says Russell Martin has to go. He's an absolute ball sack. Yeah, man, we've been trying to sort it, Darren, actually, to be fair. We will be there. He'll be here, mate. He'll be here. Let's have a look, actually, at the Champions League then for tonight. Bilbao, Arsenal, PSV, Union Saint-Gilloise, Benfica, Paraag, Juve, Dortmund, Madrid, Marseille, Tottenham, Villarreal. Oh, Atletico Bilbao, Arsenal's 5:45. It's not a bad time, is it? Not a bad time at all, that. Might watch that. But then again, I'll be at my daughter's footy training. But then again, I might watch it on my phone. So there we go. Solomon FC versus Spurs. He won't be able to play, will he? I don't think he'll be able to play more. How is he getting on over there anyway? Let's see what Solomon has done. Oh, he's not played yet, no? He's not played yet. So anyone all Leeds Bird Rants is doing? Kate, I haven't heard from her in a bit, but I hope she's doing really, really well because she's a ledge. But yeah, listen, smash me a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you tonight. Peace out, folks. Have a good day.